everyone has said, look, whoever wins that nomination, I'm going to vote for whoever's on this stage, and I'm going to go out and work hard for him, because the number one objective is to defeat Barack Obama in next November. But you have a special privilege, and I would argue a special responsibility. You have argued and fought, and your chairman, Chad Connolly, has fought diligently to put yourself in position to lead the country in making a decision who should be the next presidential nominee of our party. And so while it's always good to talk about everybody and say we need to focus on Barack Obama, the question is, why am I the best person to get your vote? And I would make the argument that I'm the best person because we have the best plan for America, and I have the background that you can check to see whether what I say I'm going to do is what I'll actually do. Because one of the things that's real important is the issue of authenticity and trust. We need a candidate who isn't going to go down there and go in front of whatever audience you are and say what that audience wants to hear. And then once you get through the primary, we'll then have a different message. And then once you get elected, have a little different message. This is what drives a lot of conservatives crazy, because you don't know who you're electing. And one of the things that I like to say is that when what you see is what you get. There's a gentleman over here served with us, served as a veteran in the Korean War. And how many veterans do we have out here today? Please raise your hand. Let's thank all these veterans. Yesterday was Veterans Day. And we just thank you and bless you for your service to our country. This gentleman came up and said, I was in the state of Pennsylvania when you were a United States Senator, and you did what you said you were going to do. We could trust you. I represented a very tough state. Pennsylvania is a state that has over a million more registered Democrats and Republicans. It is not an easy state for a conservative to be elected. I was the first conservative elected in Pennsylvania, really since prior to the Great Depression. And Pennsylvania was a Republican state for many, many years, but it was not a conservative state. It was a typical, what we used to call Rockefeller Republican state, liberal Republican state. I changed all that. And when I went there, my voting record was as conservative as, well, if I represented South Carolina, for example, as Jim DeMint and some of the great conservatives that we have down here, Lindsey Graham on national security. So I went out there and took the fight on the conservative cause across the board. And that's what's important to understand. That it was not, I understand economics is the number one issue. It is the number one issue. And we need to have a president that goes out there and argues and articulates a vision that is counter to the socialistic policies of Barack Obama, the government elites who want to tell us how to run our lives, want to tell our businesses, like Boeing, where they can locate their plants. I mean, this is antithetical to everything that our founders fought and died for, which was to have limited government, have free people and free markets, not oppressive government telling businesses and telling people where they can build their plants, what health care they have to buy, what loans they can get, or what cars are going to be available or not available, what light bulbs and toilets you have. This is a nanny state government. My grandfather and father came to this country because they wanted to leave a country that we're becoming. Because we have government who tells us everything that's best for us. Because they don't trust you. Well, I put forward a plan, an economic plan that is bold, that cuts rates, that gets this economy humming again, that simplifies the tax code. We go to 5 deductions in the tax code: charities, children, housing, pensions, and health care. That's it. Everything else is gone. It's a simple tax. And then we do one other thing that's important to South Carolina. And that is, we focus on the manufacturing sector of the economy. Why? Because that's the sector of the economy that has struggled the most. I hear it everywhere I go, where Americans are sick and tired of going shopping and seeing made anywhere but America.
Come on.
What they want is to be able to see the jobs that created the broad middle income sector of America. They want to see those jobs come back. And people think, well, we can't get them back. Oh, those days are gone. You hear it here in South Carolina. Well, the textiles, all these are gone. Well, you're proving, number one, you can compete. Obviously, Boeing's here. You can compete, but it's hard. It's hard to compete when government ties one hand behind businesses' back and says, go out there and compete. If you look at our 9 trading partners, and you look at our competitive advantage or disadvantage versus those 9 trading partners, we have a 20% cost disadvantage with China, Mexico, all of our major trading partners. 20% cost disadvantage, excluding labor. That's not even counting labor costs. So, and that is all government. It is litigation, it is regulation, it is taxation, it is availability of capital, it is energy costs. All of those things are hurting our competitiveness. It's not that China can beat us because they're smarter, better, whatever. No, we beat ourselves. We make it impossible for businesses, almost impossible for them to compete. We have to be so much better here in America to keep jobs here in America than everybody else, because what the government does, well, we put a plan together that levels that playing field, in fact, tilts it in our direction. And that is, we zero out the tax on manufacturers. No corporate taxes for manufacturers if you make things here in America.
Amen, that's good.
That's a 35% tax rate now gone. We say to the regulatory agencies, we're going to repeal every regulation that costs manufacturers and businesses over $100 million a year. And if we have to replace them at all, we'll replace them with ones that businesses can work with so we can be competitive. Third, we're going to take energy prices. And we're going to lower energy prices by opening up this country for energy. It's going to, you want to talk about trading getting rid of our trade balance. Lower energy prices. Create energy independence in this country. We can do it. Look at natural gas. 7 years ago, the price of natural gas in this country was $12, and we were importing natural gas, setting up LNG terminals all on the East Coast to get natural gas from the Middle East, just like we were getting oil from the Middle East. Now, we're exporting natural gas. Why? Because we opened up drilling in Pennsylvania primarily, and we're drilling 3,000 wells a year in Pennsylvania. Rural areas are getting wealthier. Jobs are being created outside of the cities. And the price of natural gas is not $12 anymore. It's $3.60.
Come on.
That's the difference. We do that with oil. We will build a manufacturing base. We will create. Look at what the president did with the Keystone Pipeline. A pure political decision to shut down, to delay the decision on a pipeline that would take oil from Canada and North Dakota and bring it down all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico for refining. Jobs on the pipeline, jobs for refining, jobs for drilling. And the president says, no, we're going to delay it until after the election because he doesn't want to upset the environmentalists. This president makes every decision based on his own personal interest, not on your interest. He needs to go and go now.